Hello, Steve White, Triple 89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, I just watched episode 3 of season 3 of Lower Decks. Somehow I missed episode 2 and 3 slipped up on me and I had to watch them both together, but I'm doing separate reviews. The episode was okay. One little issue, there's always a little issue, but for the most part, it was okay. The smaller story is Tindy is being mentored by the green bird doctor guy, I can't remember his name. And it does allow her to speak up, which does sort of save the day later on in the episode. Basically, there's a planet with a bunch of scientists are on there, and they've found the local species, the Scrubble, have these stones that can read minds and then turn people into stone. So, they are negotiating removing a station that they'd built there, an outpost that they'd built there. So they're trying to negotiate with them, and there's another ship that's there, and they're negotiating as well. And there's there's the sort of story on the ship and the story off the ship. Now, off the ship, the the lower deckers, Rutherford, Mariner, Boilerman, they're all down there cleaning up, clearing out, getting rid of these stones. And there's another team from the other ship. And they, at first, are criticising the Cerritos team. It's like, we know your reputation. Basically, you guys are screw-ups. You don't pay attention to the rules. You just do whatever you want. And they realise, wow, we've got a bad reputation, which makes sense because part of the reason why I didn't like the show at the start was they seemed to be saying that Starfleet was a joke. And then they sort of tweaked it to make it, no, it's just this ship that's a joke. And they don't do what they're supposed to, and it's because of just the way the ships run, and the rest of the fleet, is like Starfleet, and they're like the sort of the underdogs or whatever, or the odd ship out or whatever, and that sort of worked for me. I'm like, okay, it's just this ship. They're not sort of trying to act like Starfleet and Star Trek is a joke, but apparently they tried to sort of, then they were competing. They were trying to remove the stones faster than the other team was repairing or dismantling the station. So eventually they screw up because they're trying to go too fast, and they actually tell the engineer that they were trashing Ransom. So he gets really angry and he starts trying to really speed up and beat these guys, and he actually breaks some of the stones open, and then it gets really crazy and they end up hiding in a cave, and they find in the cave that there is a secret sort of lab or base or whatever that is. They're using these stones to record information and memories and store information that the stones are reading from people, and they realize that the local aliens and the scientists are working together to try and use these to steal information from Starfleet and sell it on the black market. So they eventually go up to the ship and they're trying to negotiate, and the captain of the Cerritos, Carol, I've forgotten her, Mariner, her mother, she's trying to, they're fighting over this rock that they've been given as some sort of trinket, and the younger captain keeps dissing her on age, like, oh, that's something older captains do, and they're arguing over this, and eventually they fight, and Tindy smashes it, and they find inside the device that's storing the information and all that, and that's just when the team beam up and basically let them know that that's what the whole thing's about, and then of course security steps in and they really start negotiations with these guys because they know what they're really up to. But down the planet, in order to resolve that, they sort of end up talking the two teams, and they discovered that the other team had heard all about Cerritos and they really thought they were the coolest ship, and they were just intimidated by them, and that's why they were trashing them. Like, really Starfleet people are going to be impressed by a bunch of people who don't obey the rules and get into trouble just because they survive it? That's because when they were had a bad reputation, and that made sense and understood, when they got to suddenly they're the heroes because they screw up and ignore the regulations and basically ignore Starfleet. It is a way of sort of undermining Starfleet and Star Trek in general. So it just supports this overall idea that they think Star Trek is a joke, and that these people that ignore it and they're the heroes, they're the guys, and everyone, real Starfleet would admire them, want to be like them. I'm like, no, no. So it was going well for a while, and then that point, which I think speaks to bigger issues with the show and with New Trek in general, sort of raised their head. But some of the nightmare species that they had down the planet that they were running from, like Klingon clowns and Andorian werewolves and Borg snakes, were kind of fun. So the episode was kind of fun, but yeah, that little bit undermined it. The scene with the Doctor was kind of funny because she's just always extreme and swearing, and she's like cutting a guy's foot off with a chainsaw so she can grow him a new one because there's an alien attached to his foot that's digesting his toes and whatever. But Tindy does learn to stand up for herself, and the doctor that was mentoring her takes all the credit when it was actually the cat lady doctor that actually sort of gave her the advice because she wasn't sure what to do. But yeah, I don't know. I am enjoying the show mostly because it seems to be canon for original Star Trek, and it just feels a bit more like Star Trek, except when they're making fun of the Federation. Like I said, the jokes should be going with the show, and they seem to be being at the show, at Star Trek. It's a bit, like I said, it does seem to sort of support this idea that the people making it don't really get Star Trek or think that Star Trek is a joke, and they're making fun of it. And I do get that feeling from time to time. And it's not, it's not, I'm not going to say malevolent. It's not malignant, but it's sort of there, and it kind of irks me. It just pops up and becomes sort of kind of obvious here and there. And yeah, I think they kind of think it's a joke, and they don't take Starfleet seriously, and they don't take Gene's sort of vision seriously. And people who do that, I think they think, I don't know, it just, there's something that's not quite right. But yeah, I'm rambling now. But overall, the episode worked, and there's some funny scenes. But yeah, there is this underlying sort of lack of respect for Star Trek, which I feel in this show all the time. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I really want to do this review in 5 minutes. I thought I'll do the two, do them both in 5 minutes, and then it'll be a total of 10 minutes, sort of like one review. But yeah, no, I'm still talking. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, can't think of anything else to say about this episode. I am still enjoying the series. Looking forward to the next episode. I just wish they had a bit more reverence for Star Trek in the show. You can do that and be funny.